Good afternoon and welcome to the USCAA Basketball National Championships presented by Nemacolin Woodlands Resort. We are at Penn State Fayette, the Eberly campus, and today we have a quadruple header of championship activity beginning with the Women's Division I National Championship game. It's a battle of the top two seeds as number one seeded Concordia College of Alabama Hornets will take on the number two seeded Iowa Wesleyan University Tigers. I'm Chuck Durso. Along my side is Paul Britton, and we'll be calling the action for you this afternoon. And Paul, we have a great matchup to start off the day. Top two seeds making it to the championship game.
And Chuck, this is one of several games where the top two teams will be playing each other through the championships today. I think it's great. I saw Concordia in one of the early rounds. They are a very well-rounded, well-coached basketball team. I haven't seen Iowa Wesleyan. I'm sure that they are as well, or they wouldn't be here for this game today. But you talk about seedings, and everybody likes to see upsets, but sometimes you like to see numbers 1 and 2 coming together. Whoever wins this game, obviously, it's not going to be a fluke. They've worked their way to get here.
Concordia comes in with a record of 21-3. And they rolled into the tournament on an 8-game winning streak. They've won 2 games, of course, in the tournament to get to the championship game. So they've won 10 in a row. Meanwhile, Iowa Wesleyan, a little bit reversed. Their record is 18-7, and they got off to a great start this year. In fact, they won 8 of their first 9 games. Lately, though, not quite so impressive. In fact, in the last 8 games before the tournament, they were just 4-4, but they've turned it around in the tournament, and also, of course, with 2 wins to get to this title tilt. So at this point, Paul, you kind of throw out the records. They're fun to talk about, but really the only record that matters is who is 1-0 today.
Exactly, Chuck. And I saw a game last year, numbers 1 and 2, in the Women's Division II championship game. And it was Penn State Beaver last year coming out with the win over the number 1 seed, and I believe it was St. Joseph's. This year they played yesterday for the semifinals. St. Joseph's got a little bit of revenge for that loss to Beaver, knocked off Beaver, so St. Joseph's moving on. Again, like you said, it's a coin flip. Whoever is hot today coming out, that's going to be an advantage, but I think we're going to have a fantastic basketball game here to start things off.
We're just about to get the announcement of the starting lineups, and our apologies, but we're going to kind of get them along with you because we did not get notice of the starters prior to the tap. So they'll go ahead and announce those, and then we will get underway. Actually, we don't have the scoreboard quite on yet in terms of the players being listed. I'm sure they'll get that taken care of. But before we get underway with the announcement of the lineups, we're going to have the national anthem, and the colors are going to be presented at midcourt, as you can see right now. The young man from the Cub Scouts out there with Dave Meredith of Penn State University to present the colors. And so right now we will have the national anthem. Gee, not bad for 11 years old, huh?
I'll tell you what, Chuck, they made a great choice with that young lady, and if she keeps with it and has the right instructors in school, she's going to go far, but a very, very strong voice at such a young age.
Well, I see Actually, I see the lady that's with her over there, Mrs. Moore. I have to call her Mrs. Moore. She's the former choral teacher at Albert Gallatin High School. Still Mrs. Moore to me. So I would say she's probably getting some really good coaching.
Oh, for certain. And now the starting lineups brought to you by someone I consider to be one of the best announcers anywhere, Johnny Marcolini.
Number 3, we're looking at Iowa Wesleyan, of course. Number 3 is Rachel Williams. She is a 5'3" senior guard. Amy Iverson is a 5'3" senior guard as well. She is number 4. Number 5 is Darby Massner. She's a freshman. She's 5'7" and also plays guard. Number 24 is Dakota Flessner. She is a 5'9" senior forward out of Payson, Illinois, and from Riverside, Iowa, a 6' senior forward, number 34, Brianna Hall. Iowa Wesleyan University plays out of Mount Pleasant, Iowa, not Mount Pleasant, PA. For those local, they know that's right down the road. Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Steve Williamson is their head coach, and again, their record this season was 18-7. Concordia College plays out of Selma, Alabama. Their record was 21-3. Number 00 is Kimberly Clark. She is a sophomore guard. Number 1 is Erica Owsley. She is a senior guard. Number 3 is Rochelle Harris. She is a sophomore guard. Number 22, Mary Wyndham, is a sophomore. She also is listed as a guard. And Karsheva Sutton, number 34, plays center. So they list 4 guards and a center as their starting 5. Howard White Jr. is the head coach for Concordia College. And there you have these starting lineups. And Iowa Wesleyan will be in the dark uniforms with the white numerals and trim. And Concordia wears gold uniforms as their home unis, with again the white numbers and trim, and the green trim, I should say, is their green and gold. And Concordia will be moving left to right across your computer screen as we are ready to get things underway. Dakota Flessner and Kimberly Clark jumping center, and Concordia will get the first possession of the game.
And Chuck, Concordia brings a lot of energy, but at the same time, they are a very relaxed team, so they know how to relax and bring the intensity at the same time.
Nice dish off there to Clark. She cannot get the shot to go, and Brianna Hall picks up the loose ball. Now Iowa Wesleyan comes back. 2-3 zone by the Lady Hornets. Iowa working the ball around. Now baseline jumper in and out by Rachel Williams. Loose ball, though, chased down by Darby Master. Another opportunity for the Tigers. Patiently working the ball around. There's a 30-second shot clock in the women's game. Nice entry pass down on the block. Losing control, however, was Flessner, and now we get a whistle as the ball heads out of bounds. We're going to get our first foul. Master will be called.
Chuck, one of the things, a lot of changes in the women's game this year. They play 4 quarters instead of 2 halves. The free throw shooting, if it's not a shooting foul, 5 fouls before they go to the free throw line each period, and then they shoot 2. That took a lot of adjustment for a lot of people, myself included, this season.
Yeah, no more 1-and-1s like you have in the men's game. A lot different as there's a turnover, the ball thrown away, and the Tigers will bring the ball back down court. This is at all levels, by the way, of women's play in collegiate, from Division I and the NCAA all the way down, and it's really made it not a different game, but there's just a little bit of a different flavor to it.
Kind of speaking for the scorers table, our consensus is we'd like to see them go back to the old ways, but that's us, and we're not the ones making the rules.
Ahead of the field, coming off of the miss, and your first points of the game from Erica Owsley. Half-court pressure from Concordia. Iowa Wesleyan now setting up their offense. Iowa Wesleyan, a deliberate team. They average 65 points a game. Concordia averaging over 78 points a game. So definitely a contrast in styles. Concordia is going to want to push the ball, as you just saw a few moments ago. Iowa Wesleyan probably going to try to play more deliberately.
It's going to be interesting, Chuck, to see how these two teams do. Again, like you said, scoring a lot of points, but numbers 1 and 2 together, we'll see how they play working defensively against each other, and if it might result in either a high-scoring or a low-scoring game.
Shot clock was about to go off, so just heaving the three-pointer, and the ball goes out of bounds off of the second opportunity. Williams let fly the three, couldn't get the shot to go. Flessner got the rebound, and then the ball went out of bounds off of Concordia. Now Flessner again, but that shot is long. Rebound was pulled down by Wyndham. Again on the run, Concordia. And it's Owsley again from the nice dish by Rachel Harris.
Situation here where Iowa Wesleyan would like to get a basket early, Chuck, to try not to let Concordia get too much control of this game, even though it is still in the first quarter.
Well, Iowa's going to need to shoot the ball better than they have so far. Because one way you control the running game is don't let Concordia get those rebounds. There they go again. Owsley ahead of the field, and it's a 6-0 run to start things off for the Lady Hornets.
They might be thinking about a timeout before too much longer if it keeps on going like this.
Well, if you make shots, you neutralize that running game. So they're going to have to start knocking down some shots. And a steal. On the run again. Here comes Harris, and she will pull it up this time. Letting it fly, though, is Owsley, missing the three-pointer, and the rebound pulled down by Hall.
I think that first basket might take a little bit of the jitters out for Iowa Wesleyan when they can get it.
Not there, though, as the three missed by Master. Long rebound pulled down by Williams. Gets the ball to Hall, and there's your first points of the game for the Tigers.
Breaks the ice a little bit, and maybe they can relax a little bit now as they get set for their defense.
In a 3-2 zone. First time we're really getting to see the half-court offense of Concordia, and putting the ball up and in is Mary Wyndham to reestablish the 6-point lead. Near steal in the corner. Now in a little bit of trouble is Flessner. She's able to get the ball out to Williams to set up the offense. Shot clock already down to 15. Williams gets it inside, but a travel will be called on Massner. And we'll get our first substitutions of the afternoon as Kimberly Clark, 00, will come in for Concordia, along with Ashley Henley, number 32.
Still early in the game, Chuck. 8-2, number 1 seeded Concordia over Iowa Wesleyan, seeded number 2. But for Iowa Wesleyan, again, you don't want to let too much of a gap start early between you and Concordia.
Number 30, Shantavia Harris, also in the game now for Concordia, as that shot goes wild. Iowa Wesleyan comes back down court, trailing 8-2. The first quarter nearly halfway completed as we're down to 5:08 on a turning clock. Skip pass over. Brianna Hall cannot get the three to go. Battle for the rebound, and it is pulled down by Henley. Henley now will set up the offense. Goes over to the far wing. Skips it across to Wyndham. Good pursuit defensively and a near steal there. Shot clock down to 8. Now Henley. Wyndham will let it fly. Just catches the front of the rim, but falls short. The rebound by Brianna Hall.
Good defense by Iowa Wesleyan there, forcing Concordia to go all the way down on the shot clock.
Looked like Flessner was open inside for a quick pass there, but choosing not to go that way. Now Flessner skips it over to Hall. Back around, 10 seconds on the shot clock. And we'll get the first foul of the afternoon on the Lady Hornets. Henley will be called. And we'll take a media timeout with 4:08 remaining here in the first quarter. We are underway, and the score is Concordia College of Alabama 8, Iowa Wesleyan University 2. Nemacolin Woodlands Resort is the presenting sponsor of the 2016 USCAA Basketball National Championships. Nemacolin is a family and luxury vacation destination on 2,000 wooded acres in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania. From the luxurious Forbes 5-star, AAA 5-diamond Falling Rock Boutique Hotel to the comfort of your RV, Nemacolin's 6 lodging options cater to everyone's personal choice for a variety of amenities. It's another season at Nemacolin Woodlands Resort. What reason will bring you back? Sound like I had an echo as I was doing that, Paul.
Yeah, Johnny Marcolini, Chuck doing the same announcement. I had that when I was announcing over the PA system for the first couple games, and that one sentence in there's a real mouthful.
Yes, it is. But I'm done with it now for the day.
So you're done
for the game. For the game.
I think we've seen Iowa Wesleyan settle down just a little bit. Down by 6 halfway through the first quarter. So if they can settle into their game, I think they'll be okay.
That ball, I believe, was tapped last by Hall, yes. So a turnover off of the inbounds. So that's not a good way to come out of the timeout. Into the game now is Kaylee Mosley, number 20, as Iverson will take a seat. Kaylee Mosley, a 5'7" senior out of Taylor Ridge, Illinois. Most of the Iowa Wesleyan players are from Illinois or Iowa. Rachel Williams is from Phoenix, Arizona. We got a North Dakota player as well, freshman. But most of them Iowa, Illinois, from the Midwest. And they pull down the rebound off of that miss. And we'll come back down court trying to cut into that 6-point deficit. Some contact, nothing called on the far wing. Now inside. Nice ball movement on this possession, leading to a wide open 3. Darby Massner getting her 3 on, and it's 8-5.
Big basket for Iowa Wesleyan there, and you'd said it earlier, Chuck, about trying to stop the running game of Concordia. I think the last couple minutes Iowa Wesleyan has done that, keeping them from running, and they're playing very well in their half-court defense.
That was a beautiful offensive set there. Great ball movement. Forcing the ball up there was Kimberly Clark, but she'll get bailed out on the foul call, and she'll shoot a pair. Foul was called on Flessner. Her first second team foul. 3:05 remaining in the first quarter. Clark, a 61.5% free throw shooter on the regular season, misses the first. Second one up and in, and it's a 4-point lead now for Concordia. Dangerous pass. You miss that pass, it leads to a fast break the other way. Now Flessner. They swing it around, now inside. Back out, short jumper. No good by Massner. Chase for the ball, last touch by Concordia. Your official.
Sorry, Chuck. First called, tough call there for the officials with both players going for the ball. That's one of those ones that could go either way. Both players going for the ball at the same time.
Lashanique Youngblood now checks into the game, number 24 for Concordia. The officials for today's game are Cameron Marisa, James Lipscomb, and Kristen Sarantino, who made that call on the baseline just a moment ago. And that's James Lipscomb there, who is going to say that Erica Ousley sat on the sideline. So Tigers will keep possession.
The way it looks so far, Chuck, it looks like it'll be whether Concordia can keep that running game going, get it started up again, and then how Iowa Wesleyan does in the half-court offense. That's going to be, I think, a big factor in this game, as at least the starting out.
Yeah, these contrasting styles makes for a very interesting matchup. Who can control the pace? I agree. That's going to be your key. Now Hall fakes it, takes it, makes it. Wesleyan now on a 7-3 run, and they've pulled to within 2 points.
And probably feeling an awful lot better about themselves than they did for the first minute or so.
Inside now, Clark is able to get the roll. Long jumper by Darby Massner. Well, I announced Clark is getting that bucket, but apparently it was Shantavia Harris, and there she is again. So back-to-back inside buckets by Harris, and now a turnover.
They're moving the ball pretty well, and there they made a careless pass, and that's where they got to be careful.
Wesleyan had pulled to within one off of that Massner three. She's hit a couple of trifectas here in this first quarter. That pass, or that shot rather, was wild, but there's Harris. Harris, way up in the air and straight through. Didn't even bother to use the glass there. Shantavia Harris has come off the bench and put up a quick half dozen points. Wesleyan with no answer for her inside. Wide open is Hall. Cannot get to three. Good position, though, for the rebound by Kaylee Mosley. Ball knocked out of bounds by Concordia. 44.5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Into the game, back into the game is Rachel Harris for Concordia. And Talamakia Dubose, number 20, in for the first time now for the Lady Hornets. Three ball, corner pocket, Darby Massner with 9 points in the quarter, all from beyond the arc.
Those three-pointers big for Iowa Wesleyan, so they're countering the running game of Concordia.
Missing the shot this time was Harris, but she gets the rebound, and she'll shoot a pair. And right now the Tigers have no answer for Shantavia Harris down on the block.
If they can just force Concordia not to be able to get the ball inside, which is asking a lot, but that's what they're going to have to try to do, stop that, and, of course, like we said, the running game.
Well, they're packed in the zone, and you would think packed in the zone would be the way to do that, but it doesn't matter. Concordia finding a way to get the ball inside. Brianna Hall was called on that foul, and that's her first. Whitney Brandvold, she's the freshman that is from North Dakota I was talking about earlier, comes into the game for Wesleyan. She wears number 40. Nice stroke from the line as Harris hits them both. And it's a 4-point game with 28 seconds remaining in the quarter, so the shot clock is off, and Iowa Wesleyan can play for one if they choose, but Massner is wide open, and she's feeling it, but that one was just a bit short.
Sometimes, Chuck, I don't understand why they put the ball up so early when it's the final seconds of a period, and you give the other team a chance to come down and score.
I agree, but I think she was just feeling it so much. She'd made three in a row that she just felt she had to take it. Now the other way, Owsley misses that three. They'll get a jump ball, and that will go to Wesleyan, which is a bit of a bad break, really, because there's only 0.5 of a second left. So now instead of getting the ball to start the second quarter, they're going to have to heave something up here that's not going to work. And there's the end of the quarter, and now Concordia will get the ball to start the second period. So a bit of a tough break there for Wesleyan. We are finished with 1 quarter of action. After 1 quarter of play, the score: Concordia College of Alabama 17, Iowa Wesleyan University 13. You're watching the USCAA Women's Division I National Championship presented by Nemacolin Woodlands Resort. Okay, ready to start the second quarter of action. It's 17-13 Concordia College after one quarter of play. They led the entire period, scored the first 6 points of the game. Iowa Wesleyan did get to within one at 11-10 at one point. Right now it's a 4-point game. Concordia gets the first possession. Wesleyan remaining in that zone. Looks like a 3-2 matchup zone right now. Harris tries to penetrate. Dishes it off. The three no good, but there's been the big gun, but not able to hit the follow was Shantavia Harris. She had 8 points to lead the Lady Hornets in scoring in that period. Massner had 9 for the Tigers on 3 3-pointers. She's not in the game right now. So instead, Kaylee Mosley will see the three, be the three.
Iowa Wesleyan hasn't led in this game yet, Chuck, but they're hanging in there, and they're doing the things that we said that they have to do.
Well, they shot 35.1% as a team from beyond the arc this season. That's not bad, three-point shooting. And if they can hit the threes the way they've done so far, they should be able to stay in the game. Owsley penetrates, drops it down on the block nicely, but unable to convert was Youngblood, and will get a held ball off of the rebound, so Iowa Wesleyan gets the possession.
Chance to take their first lead of the basketball game if they can get even a two-pointer coming down court.
Mary Wyndham checks back in as Youngblood will take a seat for the Lady Hornets. Yeah, this is the first time that the Tigers have even had a possession where they could take the lead since the first time they held the ball in the game. But we're going to get a turnover. No, I thought we were going to get a held ball there. Nicely done to come away with it, and that three is wildly missed there by Mosley. Harris is able to pull down the carom.
That's her first what you call brick of the game.
Quickly ball moved into Harris. Cannot get the shot to go though. She's now missed a couple inside, but unable to secure the rebound was Iverson. Offensive foul called on Harris. And Amy Iverson is hurt. And she is very uncomfortable right now.
That's the kind of thing you don't want to see at any time, and we've seen a number of situations like this during the tournament where someone goes down and you're just hoping that it's nothing real serious.
Well, it's her right leg, and we're not going to play doctor, of course, from way up here, but it's a right leg that she is not moving while she was kicking the left leg in pain. She's definitely in intense pain, and as I said, she's not even moving that leg. They're now rolling her over.
I saw a girl in one of the earlier games, Chuck, who went down, and the way she came off the court, you figured she was done for the whole tournament. 5 minutes later, she came back in good as ever. This does not look good, however.
No, not putting much weight on that leg. Iverson stands 5'3", not the largest girl out there on the court, and Shantavia Harris, and they don't have heights listed on the Concordia roster, but Shantavia definitely a size advantage over Iverson. She took the worst of that contact, so we'll see. She's one of their starters. They're going to have to go without her. Who knows, maybe the rest of the way, but now back down we come, and again, Wesleyan with a chance to take the lead. And letting one fly for three is Rachel Williams. That was short, and Harris gets the rebound. Well, if you can make the threes, you'll stay in the game, but when you rely on the threes, once you go cold, then it becomes much more difficult. Owsley with the crossover, drops it on the block to Harris. 10 points off the bench for Shantavia Harris. Even though she doesn't start, she averages 16.4 points a game this year. She's their second leading scorer, and you can see why. Nice dish. The execution of the distribution as Williams drops it off to Flessner.
Iowa Wesleyan answers, and they're hanging in there, Chuck.
1 point game. Clock moves under 7 minutes left here in the half. In the corner, over to Harris. Now back out to Wyndham. Now DeBose is going to dribble drive and score. Talamashia DeBose. Love that name, Talamashia. That three missed by Mosley. Long rebound out of bounds. Stays down in this end. Coaching staff for Concordia not too pleased with that call at all. Youngblood will check back in. By the way, speaking of great names, Lashanique. Youngblood. We got a Talamashia, a Lashanique, a Shantavia, a Karsheva. Oh, and a Kimberly and an Erica, too. Back in the game, Darby Messner is unbelievable.
So the three-pointer keeping him in the game, and now they're all even for the first time since the opening tip-off.
The fourth connection from the land of three for Darby Messner. And now Harris, and there will be a foul on the floor. Foul is going to be called on Flessner. That is her second.
Not sure, Chuck, but has Concordia hit a three-pointer yet?
Not yet. Everything's been in the paint for them. They haven't hit an outside shot, period, 2 or 3. Henley back in the game now for Concordia. Now, again, we reset the team fouls for each quarter. So that was the first team foul on Wesleyan. Ball knocked out of bounds. They're going to say it was off of Concordia. I didn't think so.
I didn't either, and I thought the young lady out of bounds did a nice job to keep that ball from hitting her. And I thought, okay, now the ball does go back to Concordia, but Iowa Wesleyan with possession.
Tie game. Iowa hasn't led yet. Working it around that 2-3 zone. Shot clock down to 12. Kaylee Mosley from the land of three. Wesleyan takes their first lead of the game.
And again, a three-pointer, so they missed a few, but really, when they put the ball up, the odds are in their favor on those three-pointers.
And a turnover. Trying to drop the pass inside was DeBose. Tried to get it to Harris, and that was intercepted. And now a little momentum for the Tigers. They kick it out. Baseline three, no good, but the offensive rebound off the Allen miss. That was Carice Allen, who's in the game now, number 33 for Iowa.
Well, Chuck, they got to be believing in themselves a little bit more right now. They got off to the rough start, but fought back to get a lead.
DeBose was called for the foul on Concordia. Second team foul. Sutton checks back in. And we're going to have a media timeout with 4:58 remaining. Here in the first half, the score is Iowa Wesleyan 24, Concordia College 21. Fine Designs is the official merchandiser of the national championships. They provide an outstanding selection of apparel that is fully customizable. You don't want to miss out on the memory of the 2016 Basketball National Championships. To purchase your official 2016 USCAA Basketball Championship merchandise from Fine Designs, make sure you visit their booth in the lobby of the main arena if you get down here for the games. And if you are within driving distance, of course, still plenty of time to get down here to the beautiful Penn State Fayette, the Eberly campus, because we still have 3 more games coming after this one.
And one admission price, so you pay your price to get in. You get to see 3 championship games and the best basketball that you are going to see in the Fayette County area on the collegiate level for the cost and the free parking and the short drive.
3:15 will be the starting time for the men's Division II championship game. That's next. The women's D1 title tilt is scheduled for 6 o'clock. And then 8:45, the starting time for our finale of the evening, the men's Division I battle. Right now, it's the women's Division I title at stake. And Iowa Wesleyan on a bit of a roll, leading 24-21 as they inbound wide open under the basket. Defensive miscue there as Brianna Hall comes free, and she has a half dozen points.
Iowa Wesleyan fighting their way back, and now with a little bit of control and momentum in this game.
And almost a turnover there. Just able to save it was Henley. Now inside and dropping it in was Sutton, her first bucket of the night. Three-point lead for Wesleyan. Concordia has switched to a man-to-man defense, trying to do something about that outside shooting. I think that's a good coaching decision there by Howard White. They were just killing him from outside, so they go man. Hall is still able to get open for a three. She misses the shot, though, and the rebound pulled down by Sutton. So a nice defensive change there by Concordia. We'll see how that plays out. Open inside is Harris. Her fifth field goal of the half. She has 12 points. 3:40 left here in the second quarter. It's a one-point game. Now driving through but unable to connect was Williams. Harris did a nice job disrupting, and Concordia has a chance to regain the lead. That pass misfires. We'll get a held ball. Concordia will maintain possession. Now checking into the game once again is Kimberly Clark. And Harris will take a seat. A well-earned rest for Shantavia Harris, who has been a force down low.
Chuck, we're seeing exactly what you expect when you have number 1 and number 2 seeds meeting each other. Just a battle back and forth. As you said earlier, a contrast in styles, but you get a 1 and 2 seed in the finals, you're not expecting a blowout either way.
Official conference there trying to decide whether the shot clock should be reset or not, and it should not. In a held ball situation, you don't reset the shot clock, so it stays at 16. Are they going to call that a defensive foul? Yes, but it's on the floor, so the shot will not count. I don't think Sutton knows that. She thinks she has the basket. But official Kristen Sarantino blew the whistle right away and said the foul was on the floor. Neither side is happy with that call because Concordia thinks they should get the basket, and Iowa Wesleyan thinks it should have been an offensive foul.
I'll give her Kristen stayed with the call on that one. They talked it over a little bit. She was adamant about it. And that's what you want about the officials. Whether you agree with the call or not, you want them to be firm when they make a call.
Rachel Williams was called for the foul. She was in the defensive circle, so I think that's why it wasn't called. The three from the corner is no good by Owsley. Knocked out of bounds by Youngblood, so Iowa Wesleyan will maintain possession. 3:08 left here in the second period. And now Howard White wants an explanation from why they didn't get credit for the bucket down on the other end. Just laughing. That's one of those rare cases where neither coach was happy with the call. Usually one coach is happy and one isn't, you know. Now a little bit of a weave against the man-to-man. Coming around the screen, wide open, but a long three there by Massner, and she misses. Looking to run. Now Owsley. Nice drive. 8 points for Owsley. She had 6 very early in the game. And Concordia back in the lead.
Iowa Wesleyan has gotten some three-point efforts since Concordia went into the man-to-man, but they haven't been able to get them to fall, so that pressure has kept them from getting that hot hand back with the three-point shots.
Shot clock down to 6. Nice crossover there by Williams, but then she lost the ball. And all that noise that we heard from the right side of the gymnasium has shifted over to the left side where the Concordia fans are.
And that's basketball for you. You have your series of runs that go both ways, some momentum changes, one of the charms of the game.
Nice crossover there by Henley. Her first 2 of the night, and it's a 3-point Concordia lead. There's the weave again. Eventually leading to a long 3. No good, but the rebound is pulled down. They'll set up again. Allen missed that 3. Eventually they're going to have to try something other than just relying on 3-point shots. Methinks. Massner. Shot clock at 14. And a foul is called. Clark will be called for her first foul. That's the 3rd team foul. Back into the game now for Iowa Wesleyan is Amy Iverson, and checking into the game for the first time is Kate Ray, number 10. She's a 5'7" senior from New Sharon, Iowa.
So Iverson a little while ago with the injury, Chuck, and obviously not as serious as it could have been. Didn't look good at first, but she's back in, so obviously she's fine.
Walking it off, and that's always good to see. Now again, another official conference here as they started to allow the inbound, but now they want to get all 3 in on this.
We always joke at the scorer's table, they're trying to decide on what restaurant they want to go to after the game when they get together.
I would recommend Nemacolin Woodlands. They have a lot of choices up there.
Definitely. I've been up there. They host the tournament every year, and it's a fantastic site. And I know some of the young people here have never been at a place like that because I talked to a few of them the other day at the banquet, and they were just saying how impressed they were to be able to stay at a place like that.
Goggle-eyed, probably, right? Now, what is the situation? They're not. And unfortunately, we apologize, but we are so far away from the court, and the official score table is on the other side of the court, so we have no idea.
It looks
what's
like a
going on
technical
here.
foul, perhaps.
Against Concordia, apparently. We had a strange situation last night in that semifinal game where with St. Joseph's head coach got a technical foul a minute and a half in the game, and he didn't yell or anything, and he couldn't understand what he got it for. And nobody could figure it out, but it's kind of the same thing. I don't know. Maybe somebody said the magic word. Who knows?
Still talking about it over by the scorer's table and haven't heard an announcement from Johnny Marcolini yet. I'm sure he's probably wondering as well and just trying to listen to make sure that whatever he announces is the correct information.
Brianna Hall, who, according to my stat sheet here, is a 100% free throw shooter this year. I don't know how many she shot. It says here half a shot a game. So that's about 15 shots or so this year. However many it's been, she's made them all, so I guess she's a good choice and does not get the roll. Oh, the announcer's jinx comes true again. So it's a 2-point game, and now Iowa will inbounds. Chance to tie or take the lead if they can hit a 3. Massner cannot hit that 3 from the corner. Rebound pulled down by Youngblood, and now Concordia on the run. And a foul is called, and Owsley will go to the line. Foul will be called on Massner, and that's her second. So Coach Williamson will have to make a choice here if he wants to sit her down for this final minute 12 of the quarter. I would. Don't take a chance of her picking up that third foul because they're going to need her and her outside shooting in the second half.
Chuck, a number of years ago I was covering a high school game, and Mark John, the father of Mook John, who coaches here at Penn State Fayette for the men, I asked him why he left a girl in a game with 4 fouls throughout the second half, and he told me, well, you can't save them for the prom.
Mark John would do that all the time. He would not take players out when they were in foul trouble. He just had faith in them to be smart and not commit another foul. Carice Allen misses on the 3. We're down to the final minute now of the quarter. Owsley had hit one of those 2 free throws, by the way, and a turnover by Concordia. So Wesleyan will come back down court again, trailing by 3 with 50.1 seconds remaining. Checking into the game now is Mosley. Massner does take a seat. No, Massner's still out there. She's set up on the near wing. Mosley misses the three. Ball comes to Massler, and she is fouled on the attempted follow. Ashley Henley will be called for her second foul, and Massner will shoot a pair. Surprisingly enough, as good of a three-point shooter as she is, Massner is listed as just a 65% free throw shooter on the season. Apparently it's too close for her.
It's funny how sometimes a player who exceeds in one thing struggles in another that you would think would work for them as she knocks down the first free throw.
You know, if you really struggle that much and you're a good three-point shooter, just move to the back of the circle. There's no rule that says you have to be right at the line. You just have to be in that semicircle. I've never seen anyone do that. One of two. Oh, but a break as it's out of bounds off of Concordia.
The other thing they talk about is that they're surprised that more people don't use the underhanded free throw shooting, and they said the guys don't do it because it's, for lack of a better term, considered unmanly. But, if you make those shots, that's what counts, not how it looks.
It's always manly to make a shot, I think. I don't care how you look. And now Owsley in transition. 11 points in the first half for Owsley. It's a 5-point game, down to 19 seconds left. Trouble inbounding now. Massner and a double dribble is called there. Well, that's interesting. She had the ball in both hands and she hit the court and came back up with it. And apparently official James Linskin counting that as a dribble. Then she took another bounce.
I'm not sure that it wasn't a good call. It was just his interpretation of it. Obviously, Iowa Wesleyan doesn't like that, but that's the call.
Last shot now for Concordia. We're down to 5 seconds. Owsley, she's going to have to let one fly. Well, no, it'll be Sutton from the free throw line, beating the buzzer, and Concordia with a late second quarter run extends what was a 1-point game up to a 7-point lead. At the half, the score, the Concordia College of Alabama Lady Hornets 34, Iowa Wesleyan University Tigers 28. It's halftime. We'll take a pause for the cause and be back with second half action coming up in just about 10 minutes. You're watching the USCAA Women's Division I National Championships presented by Nemacolin Woodlands. Just about ready to resume action here for the second half of this national championship game. I'm Chuck Durso, Paul Britton alongside. At the half, Concordia College of Alabama leading Iowa Wesleyan University 34-28 in what was a very, very entertaining first half, Paul. Two lead changes. Iowa led by as much as 3. Concordia led by 6 early, scored the first 6 points of the game, then after 8-2, didn't lead by 6 again until the very end of the half when they made a little run at the end.
So right now they've got a little bit of momentum going into the second half. Obviously, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out hot, cold, or whatever in this second half. Just to pass along, during the break, I was talking to my friends from the scorers table. Dave Ryder, who does a great job running the scoreboard here at Penn State Fayette, mentioned to me that technical foul call against Concordia in the first half was for illegal touching of the basketball when it was out of bounds after a score. It's a dead ball situation. There are a number of circumstances. The circumstance that happened there was the ball was touched by a player while it was out of bounds after a basket, and according to the rules, that is a technical foul, and that's what was assessed.
And that player was Ashley Henley, by the way, who was called for that technical foul. And, of course, technical fouls also count as personal fouls, so Henley actually has 3 fouls as we start the second half instead of just 2. So we'll run down some of the first half statistics as we get underway here, and that 3 is in and out by Brianna Hall. Iowa Wesleyan living by the 3 and dying by the 3. They put up 22 three-point shots. Out of their 36 shots taken in the first half, 22 of them were threes, and they open up with a 3 here as well. Their percentage was not that great, 27.3%. They were only 6 of 23. Meanwhile, we see the miss there by Shantavia Harris, and Iowa Wesleyan running for the first time. That will not be a shot. Foul is called by Mary Wyndham. That's the first time we've seen Iowa in any kind of transition game. Concordia shot 53.6% from the field. Outstanding shooting percentage, but Paul, most of those shots were from in the paint. That's why.
And again, it was the inside game versus the outside game. The inside game winning so far.
Iowa Wesleyan trying to get inside there off the inbounds, and instead the pass was intercepted by Karsheva Sutton. So 1 minute elapsed here in the third quarter. No scoring yet. Concordia hasn't made a 3 yet. That one missed by Harris, but the offensive rebound is pulled down. Chasing down the loose ball at the midcourt stripe was Erica Owsley. And there's a 3, the first one of the night by Mary Wyndham.
So one of the reasons they can afford to put the 3s up is if they don't make it, which they hadn't until there, is they've got that inside game to rebound.
That was their 6th three-point attempt in this game. Finally made one. And the answer. 1, 2, 3, Brianna Hall. 7th three-pointer of the night for Iowa. Surprising first half statistic, though, Paul, that really jumped out at me of everything on the stat sheet was the fact that Iowa Wesleyan out-rebounded Concordia 20-19 in that first half. I would not have guessed that.
I agree with you. I would have thought that it would have been about lopsided in Concordia's favor.
And a steal. Iverson will slow it down, wait for her teammates. Nice pump fake underneath and up and in by Dakota Flessner, who has 6 points. And suddenly it's a 4-point game.
Down by 9 just a short time ago, back down to the 4 points. So again, Iowa Wesleyan is not going away in this championship game.
Looks like some kind of combination defense, like maybe a box and one with the chaser on Owsley right now. And a travel call. Turnover by Rachel Harris. Iowa Wesleyan a chance to draw even closer now. Oh, Brianna Hall almost wasn't ready for that pass. Man-to-man defense by Concordia. Rachel Williams thought about the three, instead tries the dribble drive but loses control. And a timeout as a shoe is untied. Karsheva Sutton needs a second. Now Concordia will inbounds. I thought the key moment in the first half, Paul, was when Concordia head coach Howard White made the decision to go from the zone defense to the man-to-man. Iowa immediately began to struggle offensively.
Exactly, Chuck, and I agree with you. That right then and there, the momentum swung back to Concordia, and they've kept it thus far in the second half.
Backing in now is Harris. Can't get the shot to go, but the follow is up and in by Sutton and send her to the line. Foul is called on Brianna Hall. That's her second. And Sutton will get an opportunity at a three-point play. Harris was the leading scorer for Concordia in the first half with 12 points. Owsley had 11. Darby Massner led the way for Iowa with 13, including 4 three-pointers. And Iowa Wesleyan plays throw it away. So Concordia up by 7 and a chance to add to that lead.
Key point in the game for Iowa Wesleyan. They can't let that lead get too large.
Mary Wyndham, 3-ball, corner pocket, and a quick timeout called with 6:24 remaining. Here in the third quarter, this is a full timeout called by Iowa Wesleyan, and I think a good timeout called by Steve Williamson there. They needed to do that as suddenly Concordia has their biggest lead of the night.
Oh, they had to take the timeout there, Chuck. Just a situation where, again, like you said, biggest lead of the game. At a crucial point of the game, they have to regroup, come down and answer, and not let this thing get out of hand.
Coming up next, here from Penn State Fayette, the Eberly campus, will be the men's Division II National Championship game. That starts at 3:15, so if you're within driving distance, you still have time to come down and join us. If you can't join us, all across the nation, you can log on and we'll bring you the action. It's going to be Berkeley College out of New York City taking on Central Penn. And Berkeley is the number 1 seed. Central Penn is the number 2. So just like in this game, we're going to have a 1-against-2 for the men's D2 championship.
Central Penn was the team that knocked off Penn State Fayette in the opening game, or the quarterfinal game after Penn State had won their first game. And that game went overtime. Penn State Fayette gave it everything they had, just not able to do it. But that just goes to show you how balanced the teams are in this tournament.
We've had a couple of overtime games in that men's D2 bracket, including a double overtime game in the quarterfinals as well. Missing the shot there was Rachel Williams, but it comes back to Iowa Wesleyan. They've really struggled against this man-to-man. Nice backdoor cut there, but unable to make the shot was Massner. That ball out of bounds off of Concordia. Beautiful backdoor play, a little Princeton offense there, but unable to convert.
They've missed their last couple shots in close, and they don't want to come away with this possession without anything and then have Concordia perhaps making a 12 or 13-point lead.
And there is the 3 from Massner from downtown. By the way, it would be fitting that they would run the Princeton offense since they're the Tigers, right?
Exactly.
5:30 left here in the third quarter. It's a 7-point game. Concordia with the lead and the ball. And driving down the lane, unable to make the shot, is Sutton. She gets the rebound and the hoop and the harm. Foul is called on Hall. That's her third. Check that. It's Dakota Flessner who was called for the foul, but it's her third instead. Short on the free throw. 9-point game. Iowa Wesleyan has relied entirely on the three-pointer in this game. They've hit 8 of them, but now they turn it over.
Miscommunication there. She passed the ball looking for the cutter. The cutter didn't realize that, and the ball went harmlessly out of bounds.
Exactly 2/3 of their points in this game have come from three-pointers, 24 out of the 36. Short jumper is no good by Wyndham, and the ball chased down in the corner by Iverson. Hall thought about it. Now Iverson, dribble drive, left hand, can't get the shot to go, and they're going to call Flessner, I think, for a push-off to get that rebound. That's her fourth foul. Well, a Concordia player did suddenly go flying just as that ball was coming down. I know head coach Williamson didn't like the call. I thought we were going to get a media timeout there, but instead they inbound with 4:33 remaining. So I guess not. 9-point lead for Concordia. A tight first half, but the Lady Hornets starting to pull away. That three is in and out. Battle for the rebound pulled down by Mosley. And a foul up top will be called on Rachel Harris. That's her first. Iowa Wesleyan will inbound. We got a couple of substitutions coming into the game. Shantavia Harris will check in for the Lady Hornets. Whitney Brandvold back in for the Tigers.
Iowa Wesleyan badly needs to make sure this doesn't become a double-digit game, especially going into the final quarter.
Just something mental about that when you're down by double digits as opposed to 9. It just seems to make a difference. Nice screen to free up Iverson, but she couldn't hit the three. And now a baseball pass all the way down court to Owsley. Up, under, and in. And there is your 11-point lead. Largest lead of the afternoon for Concordia. The national championship on the line. Things starting to get serious now for the Tigers. Hall drops it off. Iverson coming around the pick. In the corner, Flessner cannot get the shot to go. Iverson with the rebound, but she traveled. She was in amongst the tall trees, trying to find herself some space. I said Iverson, it was Rachel Williams, my bad, because now Amy Iverson is checked into the game and Williams will take a seat.
Point of the game, Chuck, where Concordia has the opportunity to put a little bit of a noose around the neck of Iowa Wesleyan, and of course on the other side, Iowa Wesleyan has got to hold them down and try to get back in with some threes perhaps.
Michaela Nash in the game now for the first time. She turns the ball over, number 21 for Concordia. Baseline jumper is no good by Flessner. Ball knocked out of bounds by Concordia. 2:57 remaining here in the third quarter, and actually a foul was called there on Shantavia Harris.
Here comes the ever-popular media timeout.
Yeah, they missed it earlier on. They were supposed to take it earlier. I wondered if they were going to catch up, and they do. So with 2:57 remaining here in the third quarter, we will take our media timeout. The score, Concordia College of Alabama 47, Iowa Wesleyan University 36. You know, the historic Stonehouse Inn and Ohio Powell Vacation Rentals are the prime destination for parents and fans visiting the 2016 USCAA Basketball National Championships. The Stonehouse Inn is located in Farmington, Pennsylvania, and offers a unique experience for its visitors and patrons with Victorian bed and breakfast lodging and first-class dining from Chef Jeremy Critchfield, or enjoy a picturesque, he said, stay at one of the many Ohio Powell Vacation Rentals, each of which offers exceptional convenience to the many attractions of the Laurel Highlands. You're watching the USCAA Basketball National Championships presented by Nemacolin Woodlands Resort. And so far, Paul, the third quarter has belonged to Concordia College.
And Chuck, they're playing like the top-seeded team. We mentioned a few moments ago that this is a crucial part of the game if they go into the fourth quarter with that double-digit lead. And like you said, the difference is a mental thing between a 9-point lead or a 10-point lead. Iowa Wesleyan right now has got to answer and try to put a little bit of a run together.
And the one thing is, Iowa Wesleyan is a team that could make a comeback because they can hit three-pointers. The problem is they haven't had many open looks. There's one. Darby Massner getting her three on for the 6th time this afternoon. 19 points for Massner.
And as the coaches like to say as they come down court, they need a stop.
In that zone. And letting one fly from three is no good, but there's the rebound. Shantavia Harris, her first 2 points of the second half. She has 14 on the day. You said that earlier, that when you know you can get the rebound, you go ahead and take the threes, even if you miss.
If I got a rebounder like that, I'm not worried if I'm cold from the three-point line. You know you're going to get the ball back and get two out of it most of the time.
And missed threes tend to be long rebounds anyway. Wide open. Underneath is Whitney Brandvold, her first 2 points of the day. Under 2 minutes left here in the third period. Working the ball around. Housley swings it back up top. That's Rachel Harris. Now into the corner. Here comes Wyndham. Off the window, no good, but she's able to run down a rebound. Another opportunity. Harris will set up the offense. Gets it inside. That was a Harris-to-Harris pass there as Rachel found Shantavia, and Shantavia will go to the line. Foul called on Brianna Hall. That's her third, 4th team foul. Harris is 2 of 2 from the line so far today. And the lefty pulls it up short on that attempt. Checking back into the game is Carice Allen for the Tigers. Brandvold will take a seat.
She has that very interesting style at the free throw line, the way she handles the ball before she takes the shot.
Both of them were short, but the offensive rebound. Pulled down by Wyndham. That's a big rebound. The three is no good, and again, crashing the boards, and a foul will be called. Sutton will shoot a pair. Foul is going to be called on Massner. That's her third.
Here's an example, Chuck. They miss a three, they get a rebound, and they're fouled. Then they miss both shots, but they get the rebound. Miss a three again, and they get the rebound. And that's the difference in the game underneath the basket.
Iowa Wesleyan held their own on the boards in the first half, but that size advantage now starting to take effect as they're wearing them down. Concordia wearing them down. With the rebounds missing, and there's another one. Again, it's Mary Wyndham. And it starts to get very frustrating when you cannot get the ball back. And they're on the block, and we got a foul on the floor. And that's going to be Massner again, and serious foul trouble now for Iowa Wesleyan. Darby Massner has 4, Dakota Flesner has 4, Brianna Hall has 3.
She'll take that ball and just kind of roll it around in her fingers a little bit and then eye up the basket, and whatever works for you is what's the most important.
She has very nice rotation on the shot. Again, she just missed a pair. Both of them were short. But boy, when she makes it, there's a very nice follow through. Nice rotation. Looks good. She's 4 of 6 from the stripe. And Concordia matches their biggest lead thus far at 11 points. Final minute of the third quarter. Tigers with that good ball movement, but unable to free anybody right now. Now Allen, baseline drive. And the ball knocked out of bounds as Shantavia Harris says, girl, you don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here.
I thought for a second there, Chuck, might have been possible to call a foul on that one, but they're a lot closer than I am.
Hands straight up, and apparently they're going to allow it. So Now inbounding, the shot clock is down to 6 seconds, but now a foul is called on the floor. So, oh, wait a minute, they're calling an illegal screen, I believe, against Brianna Hall. And that's her 4th foul.
Things going from bad to worse for Iowa Wesleyan in the final minute of this 3rd quarter.
A 1 second differential from the game clock to the shot clock. So Concordia can't technically hold for 1, but they can still run it down. We'll go by the game clock right now, which says 12 seconds remaining. Now inside on the block, Shantavia Harris. 2 seconds, got to let one fly and unable to get a shot off. And that will finish the 3rd quarter of action. And after 3 quarters, the score, Concordia College 54, Iowa Wesleyan 41. You're watching the USCAA Women's Division I Basketball National Championship, brought to you by Nemacolin Woodlands Resort. By the Lady Hornets, who get the first possession for the 4th quarter. Yeah, I think these next couple of minutes are going to be very crucial for Iowa Wesleyan if they're going to get back in this game. Ousley misses the 3, and guess what? There's the putback. Actually couldn't get it to go the first time, got it the second time. Shantavia Harris, and right now it just looks like women against girls.
Exactly, and again, they take the 3, they miss, they get the rebound. So, again, controlling the boards, that's where they're getting most of their points, and it's working for them.
That 3 is missed, and there's an offensive rebound for the Tigers. Rachel Williams will shoot a pair. Erica Ousley called for her first foul of the evening. First team foul, of course, for the period. And Williams will shoot from the line her first 2 free throws tonight. In fact, that's her first point of the game. Concordia College of Alabama hoping to pull off the double dip here this afternoon, as the men's team is playing for the men's Division I championship in our finale tonight at 8:45.
We've had that happen a few times in the tournament, not a lot, but there have been occasions where both the men and women from the same school have taken home the championship, and that gives them an awful lot to celebrate and be proud of.
It makes for a nice ride back to the Deep South, doesn't it? Traveling call. The Concordia fans got excited. They thought it was another 3-point play for a second, but instead, traveling was called, and now the Tigers have a chance to get those back-to-back points on back-to-back possessions, rather. It wouldn't be buckets, it was free throws. Now the 3 is missed from the corner by Hall.
Now all they have to do is start to run clock a little bit, and there isn't anything that Iowa Wesleyan can do about it. I was going to say Ohio Wesleyan.
I just wonder if they know how to run clock.
When you score like that, though, you don't need to.
Right. Sutton now with 12 points. And it's been the Sutton and Harris show inside. And a turnover by Wesleyan. Wesleyan led once in this game. Took a 3-point lead. The game was tied. They made a 3-pointer to lead by 3. That's the only time they've led. Although most of the first half was pretty close. It was a 1-point game with about a minute to go in the half. And a quick run by Concordia pushed it up to 6 at the intermission. Don't know that she had to save that ball. And now we get a whistle as Karsheva Sutton comes up a little hobbled, and since Concordia had possession, the officials blew the whistle.
Well, Chuck, she fell down in the lane, and the coaching staff for Iowa Wesleyan arguing, and I think they got a point there, even though she was hurt, arguing for a 3-second violation, and if you apply the rules, that's what it could have been.
Well, they don't decide to call that, so now there's 6 seconds on the shot clock, wide open underneath. Kimberly Clark, and she'll go to the line. Foul called, I believe, on Iverson. That will be her first. Clark was 1 of 2 from the stripe in the first half. 7:44 left. We said the first couple of minutes were going to be key for Iowa Wesleyan, and they were unable to do anything in those first couple of minutes. And so now, as that one rims out, and a foul will be called on Wyndham, chasing after the rebound.
Right now, Iowa Wesleyan, they need a run, and not just back-to-back threes. They need to put about 9 points in a row if they can do that to try to get back in this one.
But unless they can find a way to stop the inside game of the Lady Hornets, I don't even think it will matter. Foul will be called on Clark. That's on the floor. Her second, team third. Wesleyan will inbound under the basket now. Coming around the screen is Mosley. Could not find enough room to put up a three, though. Falling down, but able to maintain possession, was Rachel Williams, but then she loses it. And now Rachel Harris comes in on Iverson, who just took it away. Stepped on the baseline, but a nice defensive play by Iverson.
There was a bad turnover there for Iowa Wesleyan in a situation where they badly needed some kind of points.
Sutton will now get back and check back in the game, so that's good to see. Harris will take a seat. $7:13 left. Inside now to Sutton. Or check that's Clark. Follows her own miss. And it's an 18-point game. Biggest lead of the day for Concordia as they're pulling away here in the fourth quarter and certainly appear to be heading towards a national championship. Baseline jumper no good by Mosley. She was kind of fading away as she took that shot. Not quite squared up.
I would say if it's not in the situation where they pretty much got it in their hip pocket, a basket here would pretty much do that.
Sutton couldn't hit the shot, and Clark had the ball stripped from her on the follow attempt. Well, no quit in this Tiger squad, that's for sure. They're still battling, and Mosley hits her third three-pointer of the afternoon. 15-point game.
Okay, look at the score at this point. It's not that anything against Iowa Wesleyan, it's just that Concordia is doing that well.
Nicely done there by Dakota Flessner to step in on that entry pass, but she couldn't hang on to the ball. So Concordia will inbound underneath. Almost half of a period expired now, 5:48 remaining. In what appears to be a run to a national championship for the Lady Hornets of Concordia. Not done yet, still time. But the clock's certainly on the Hornets' side. That was a lot of steps. Yep. Maybe in the NBA you get away with that.
In the NBA, you can practically pack a lunch.
So true. Well, a bucket here by the Tigers could make things interesting. Backdoor cut, nicely done. Flessner hitting Iverson. That's Iverson's first 2 points of the afternoon.
That's 5 points in a row for Iowa Wesleyan, but still a 13-point deficit, so they still got some work to do.
Something to build on, perhaps. But again, time running short as we're approaching 5 minutes left in this one. And another travel call as Sutton at the elbow decided to try to dribble and called for the travel. Harris back into the game, and Clark will take a seat. Wesleyan University 48. We invite you to stay tuned in for the men's Division II national championship game. Again, it will be Berkeley College of New York against Central Penn, and That game comes up at 3:15. Berkeley got some athletes, and they have a strong inside game with a couple of gentlemen who have done a lot of damage so far in this tournament, named Green and Sutton, if I'm not mistaken. And I've had a chance to see both of their games. They're good.
In Chuck, Penn State Fayette fans are familiar with both of those schools. As I mentioned, Fayette took Central Penn to overtime before losing a couple days ago. Berkeley is a team that Fayette has seen a number of times and been a thorn in the sides of the Roaring Lions. But Fayette has played well against both of them. As I mentioned, that shows you how balanced this tournament is, but still some very outstanding athletes in this tournament, starting from the top seeded teams on down to the last seeded teams. There's really no such thing as a last seeded team in this tournament because all these athletes are great.
Stephon Jennings, the gentleman I was thinking of earlier, Stephon Jennings and Johnny Green, and boy, they have been solid so far in this tournament. Berkeley, the number 1 seed. Right now, the number 1 seed in this game certainly appears to be on their way to a victory, but hey, it's 11 points now. This one's not over yet as Flessner hits both free throws, and Iowa a little pumped up now. On the block, Clark. Little pump fake that probably wasn't necessary. She's lucky she didn't shuffle her feet. Sometimes when you do that pump fake, you'll travel. Big bucket, though. Now coming back, unable to get the floater, but the ball coming right back to Rachel Williams. Her first field goal of the afternoon. Once again, an 11-point game. Stepping in, trying to intercept the pass, unable to do so. A stop and a score, and suddenly a
little bit of life.
Yeah, the temper of the game changes just a little bit. But inside, it's Shantavia Harris.
They go to what works for them, and it's worked quite well throughout the tournament, and especially today.
22 points for Harris. And there's a three up and in by Rachel Williams, who suddenly has 7 points, all in this fourth quarter. Concordia College led by as many as 18 earlier in this period. Now it's down to 10. 3.5 minutes left. Still time for the Tigers. Foul will be called up top on Amy Iverson. That's her second team foul. And if Iowa needs to foul late in the game, right now they're nowhere near putting Concordia in the bonus, so they're going to have to think about maybe using a couple of fouls semi-intentionally just to get close to the bonus. Now we get a scramble. Jump ball goes to Iowa Wesleyan.
A little bit of a break there that they've got the arrow. They've put some momentum together trying to get back into this. Be very interesting to see what happens if they can come down and hit a three here.
Yeah, score here will really increase the noise on the right side. Beautiful pick and roll. Flessner from Williams. The execution of the distribution. It's an 8-point game. Nice pass, but an offensive foul called. Ousley called for the charge. Oh, my goodness. Timeout called by Concordia. 2:53 remaining.
Good timeout here because we were wondering if there'd be any kind of a run for Iowa Wesleyan. They didn't get any in the third quarter. They do have it now at the most crucial point of the basketball game. Still a lot of work to do, but they got it out of double figures and they feel a little bit of momentum and some hope.
They've hit 10 3-point shots today. That's the only reason that they even have a chance right now. And if they could hit a couple more threes down the stretch, this game is certainly not over. Again, down by 8. Let's reset this game for you. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. The possession arrow right now is in favor of Concordia College. And the foul situation, Iowa Wesleyan has committed just 2 team fouls. Concordia has already committed 5, so Iowa's in the bonus. Concordia is not, and that's actually a break for Concordia when you're in the lead. If the other team has to foul you, they're going to have to foul them a few times before they send them to the line. But we're not there yet anyway. We're not to the point where they have to foul yet anyway with the shot clock. Right now, they just have to focus, they being Iowa Wesleyan, on making some shots and getting some stops.
So a big possession here for Iowa Wesleyan. Trailing by 8, a chance to cut it down to perhaps 6 or 5.
They can still be patient. They don't have to hurry things. Find a good shot. They're starting to get some good ball movement. Up and no, not in. Dakota Flessner. That was a big shot.
Tough break on that one because she had a nice move, and just sometimes the ball doesn't fall, and that was the case there.
That shot goes down. It's a 2-possession game. Now they need a rebound. Can't get it. Harris. Now open for the 3, Rachel Williams. 67-60 as the clock moves under 2 minutes remaining. Housley drops it off and firing up the 3, and this time the rebound goes right to Messner.
And you don't want to put a 3 up that quickly in that situation with the lead.
Wide open underneath, nice pass. Rachel Williams gets it to Messner. That's her first 2-point shot today. It's a 5-point game with 1:33 left. How about this? They don't need a 3-pointer. Oh, and a block, and a big block there by Sutton. And a scramble. That was a huge defensive play. It may have been the play of the game.
That might have been the game saver right there, Chuck.
Iverson commits the foul up top. That's her 3rd and the team 3rd. And now you are in the situation where if you're Wesleyan down 5, we've just moved under a minute, 57.6 seconds left. Now you do have to start thinking about fouling. They're going to have to use up 1 quickly before they even get to the bonus. And remember, in women's basketball, the bonus is not a 1-and-1. Everything will be a 2-shot foul situation. Inside, up and in by Harris, and that was a dagger. Foul called. Rachel Harris is going to be called. And Amy Iverson will go to the line to shoot a pair.
Chance to cut the lead with the clock stopped. A little bit of a break there for Iowa. Still some work to do, but they still got life if they can knock these 2 down and then play some good defense.
Have to make the free throws, though, when you're trying to come back in the final minute of play. Those are 2 big misses. Ball run down by Owsley and a quick foul. Iverson called. Now that's her 4th foul, so Wesleyan needs to foul, but it has to be somebody other than Iverson out there. And it really can't be Messner either because she has 4. Rachel Williams, that's only her 2nd. And that will send Concordia to the line. 37.1 seconds left, Paul. Now just simply becomes a free throw shooting contest for Concordia. Make your free throws, you win a national championship.
Right now they're up by 7. You make both of these, you make it a 3-possession basketball game with 37 seconds left. That would just about salt it away.
Misses the first. Hall checks back into the game. Flessner will take a seat. One out of 2, and Wesleyan needs 3-pointers now. And they need them quickly. And that will be short by Mosley. We'll get a jump ball out of this, but it goes Concordia's way, and that's just about going to do it. 25.2 seconds left. Wesleyan will have to foul immediately and hope for some misses. Foul's going to be called on Williams again. She has 3. Owsley will go to the line. She's 1 of 2.
I know it won't mean a lot to them, but Iowa Wesleyan can go back home feeling very proud of their effort today. They're not going to look at it that way afterward. They're going to be pretty down, but they can be proud. Their team played a great game today. They were just beaten by a better team.
74% free throw shooter on the season, but Owsley has missed 2 of 3 in this game. Iowa Wesleyan looks like they're going to end the season with a record of 20-8. And the national runner-ups, and as Paul just said, they can be proud of that. Look at Owsley run down her own rebound, but ball goes out of bounds off of her.
And that took a few more seconds off the clock, so even though they didn't get the ball back, they ran some time off the clock and made it even more difficult for Iowa Wesleyan.
This will be Concordia's 24th win on the year, 24-3, assuming that they hang on. That 3 is short by Williams. Wesleyan runs it down. They'll try again. Up and in, Amy Iverson. It's a 5-point game, but again, we're down to 7.9 seconds left, so that's going to be a case of too little, too late. And Concordia is starting to feel it. You can see by their body language out there, they can do the math, and they're starting to get excited. You don't want to celebrate too much just yet, but you can tell they're right on the edge and they're ready to celebrate.
Basically what Iowa Wesleyan would need right now would be 2 misses here, the fastest 3 possible, and then another 3 very quickly. Well, and then that would just get him a tie after that free throw.
Well, John Wesley believed in miracles, but this would be quite the miracle now if Iowa Wesleyan could pull this off. Mary Wyndham makes them both. Long pass out of bounds, and Bob Swope Sr. makes a nice catch.
Well, he was open on the play, so went right to him.
I got to get on him, though. We got to see better ball movement there. He held on to it way too long.
Yeah, and he had Johnny Marcolini right next to him. He could have taken a shot.
Exactly. Move the ball around. The clock reads 3, 2, 1 and done. The Concordia College Lady Hornets are your USCAA Women's Division I national champions as they defeat Iowa Wesleyan 72-65. Big celebration at midcourt. And they've put the pressure on the men.
Yeah, they can say, okay, now what are you going to do? We won the championship, but a great effort by Iowa Wesleyan in defeat. Again, they're down right now. They have nothing to be ashamed of. They were down by 18 points. They took 11 points off that, cut it down to a 7-point deficit. Again, nothing to be ashamed of. They're going to feel bad now, but after they regroup, they should be very proud of what they've done. Concordia, number 1 seeded team. They showed why they were number 1 seeded. They had a great inside game. They stayed with their game plan. They didn't panic whenever Iowa Wesleyan got some momentum, and they are our champions in Division I.
Shantavia Harris with 26 points. And we would love to show you we'd love to show you the ceremony, but apparently the USCAA has decided to turn their backs to us.
Yeah, so that's something they might want to rethink a little bit. Since this is an internet broadcast, they've just taken that away from everybody back home for the chance to see it. But Chuck, great working with you as always. A great basketball game. And this tournament every year just gets better and better. I enjoy being a part of it. I know you do too. And we've crowned our first champion. 3 more to go in this 2016 USCAA National Basketball Championship.
We're going to see if we can get this thing turned around somehow so you can watch this. At any rate, you'll be able to listen to it, but hopefully we'll get it spun around so you can watch it. We're going to get off the air now, and you can just pick it up from the public address announcer and watch the video, but we will join you once again at 3:15 for the men's Division II National Championship. They're announcing right now the all-tournament team. Shantavia Harris probably not only making your team, probably going to be the most outstanding player of the tournament as well. But again, we'll get out of the way so you can hear that. They'll announce that, and we'll check in with you again for the men's Division II game. Again, the final score for the women's Division I National Championship game: Concordia College of Alabama 72, Iowa Wesleyan University 65. For Paul Britton, I'm Chuck Durso saying so long, and we'll talk to you again real soon. You're watching the USCAA National Basketball Championships presented by Nemacolin Woodlands Resort.